This is the Action Movie Guys podcast, bringing you action movie reviews from across the decades, plus box office numbers and insight like never before. And now your hosts of the Action Movie Guys podcast, Alex and Nate.
Welcome everyone to a brand new episode of the Action Movie Guys podcast, episode 271. We're continuing the Pirates of the Caribbean watch through. We're up to Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides from 2011. I'm your host, Alex Figueroa, and my co-host is
Nate from Netflix Reviews.
All right, Nate, how long has it been since you've seen on Stranger Tides?
2011. I never watched it again. I saw it at the theater, and I never watched it again until 2 days ago. So it's been 12 years since I watched it, and 12 years and then now 2 days.
Yeah, it's funny because for me, I seen it once. I mean, I seen it in the theater, but that's like the last time. Even when I purchased it, I never went back to watch it. I just had it to finish the collection. That's pretty much it. But with that said,
same.
Nate, what did critics and the audience have to say about this film?
Well, we are continuing on the downward trajectory that we have been on. With this series, each one has been lower than the one before. It's no exception here. We're getting down to the nitty gritty. This one has a 33% critic score. Not very liked by critics. Audience score, a bit higher, but I think this is the first one that's not fresh, 54%. So
that's
now
not
we
bad.
It's not bad, but the last movie was like a 74. So it's 20% down, and critic score is about 20% down too. So they're going not the direction you want. But I don't know if you have the box office numbers, but this one made $1 billion, which is weird. So
yeah, I have it here. It's this movie. I mean, we can say whatever we want. So far, by the money, it's still a successful franchise. Domestic, $241 million, which is still high. International, $805 million, for a worldwide total of $1 billion. So, I mean, there is no way that you could tell me this movie flopped on the 4th.
Oh, it didn't flop. No, it didn't flop. And I don't know how this happened, though, either. It made more than 3, but it had less of the characters from the other movies.
No.
Maybe there was a gap. There was like a 4-year gap between movies. Maybe they felt like, oh, you know what? We've had a little break. It was like 4 or 5 years. I don't know, but $1 billion. I was surprised when I saw that.
Well, I mean, and then you had, if you think about it, you have Penelope Cruz. She's in it.
Cruz, yeah.
And then you got Ian McShane, which those two actors were kind of big. They were starting to get big because you had Deadwood, and that's where Ian McShane came from and everything, and then Penelope Cruz. Yeah. So big names in the acting world. But again, you're right. I mean, I don't get how this surpassed
Me either. It's weird.
But it did. But let's get to it. Let's see if I mean, the budget was $250 million.
I'm sure they're happy because, and then you said that made 231 US. Was it 231?
241.
241. And that was in 2011 money. So with inflation, it's probably over 300 now. So yeah, I mean, I'm sure they're okay with their spending.
Oh, they're fine. They're super fine on that. All right, so let's get right into it. Lead character, Johnny Depp is backing in for the 4th time as Captain Jack Sparrow. What do you think?
You know who's not back? Gore Verbinski. That was the director of the first 3 movies. We got a new director here, Rob Marshall, the guy who makes musicals. That's how I know him. He did like Chicago, and I know he did Into the Woods, and a weird choice in my opinion. He just did the new Little Mermaid movie. He does musicals. That's what he does. And this movie. Alex, I don't know, man. You know what? Jack Sparrow in this movie feels a lot of times like an afterthought in this movie. You know, it's weird because it's still kind of the ensemble, but no Will Turner, no Elizabeth Swann. Barbossa's back, but he's like totally different than he's been in the other movies. Honestly, he's a totally different character.
Yeah.
And Captain Jack Sparrow, I mean, he still has the humor. He does a lot more action in this movie, which we'll get to in the action, but I don't know. Something felt off to me with this one. I don't know what, I can't really put my finger on it. I don't know if Johnny Depp was like, didn't love the script maybe or something. He didn't seem as energetic as the other movies, but he was still doing the Captain Jack thing, you know, the voice but I don't know. Something felt off. And as far as his character goes, because that's what we're rating here. We're rating the character. Again, I feel like he took a back seat. I feel like he wasn't always really the most important part. This was like a totally coincidental thing. Like he just happened to fall into this whole plot that was going for the Fountain of Youth or whatever, because and they don't really explain totally what happened in between the last movie and this movie. They do a little bit with Barbossa, but him, like Gibbs is arrested and all of a sudden he's pretending to be a judge. And then I'm like, what the heck is going on here? So I hate to do this. I gave him a 3. Just while I was watching it, I was like, something's off. Something was off for me. I don't know what it was.
You're not the only one, my friend. And it's funny because honestly, if you look at my notes, I gave him a 3. I put him as good. I don't know if it was because of the new director, but there was something off with this franchise. It did not feel like an adventure. It felt like it looked like a blockbuster pirate movie, meaning the music wasn't upbeat. It was more of that orchestra, like trying to get you intense and all this BS that comes with it. It did not feel like an adventure. Jack Sparrow did not feel like the same first 3 version of him. He felt more he felt like it's weird to say, but he felt like more of a grounded dramatization of Jack Sparrow. Like, how could he be if he was in a drama form? Like that character, take away all the comedic performance and give him a real, like, I don't know, like give him more of a personality that he really didn't need. I didn't like him. I didn't like him as much. I thought he was good. I cannot pinpoint one section of the film that I thought was funny, except from when Barbossa took off his leg and he goes, "Ooh, I want one of those," because they had a rum in it. I thought that was the only funny part of it. Other than that, Jack Sparrow to me was irrelevant because he was outdone by Felicity Cruz. Not acting wise, I think she was great, but I think the characters. You're right. I mean, with Barbossa on screen, Gibbs, Blackbeard, everyone was shining. So like, I wasn't too crazy with Jack Sparrow on this, and I don't think the movie was hurt because it didn't have Will Turner and Elizabeth Swann. I was happy for it, but I think the adventure was kind of like off for some reason. So with that, I gave him a 3 also. All right, main villain is Blackbeard in this one, Ian McShane. What do you give him?
Guess what? I didn't like him. So I like the idea of having Blackbeard be the villain, okay? Mm-hmm. And I like Ian McShane as an actor. I thought his best scene was his first scene. After that, he made no impact in this entire movie. Like when he comes out of that room on the ship and it looks like his little beards are on fire for some reason. Like they don't really explain. They're like glowing out. They look cool. And then he has magical powers where he can make the ship ropes, like do all this stuff, which he never uses those powers any other time. Right, he can make his ship do all this stuff, but he can't catch those mermaids with his magical powers. Whatever, they didn't do a good job of explaining that. I think they didn't know, and this is the same writers who wrote the last 2. So I feel like with Davy Jones, you had a character who had like supernatural elements, right? Like he had powers, but at least it was explained, or you had a knowledge, and he could do it all the time. Right. This guy has powers for one scene and then never uses them again. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's not explained. How did he do that? Is he dead? Is he undead? Is he cursed? No explanation. Then McShane's performance again, he's fine. But let's talk about it. After that, they need to catch a mermaid, right? Because they got to get a mermaid's tear. And they get to the land. All the people do all the work. He just stands on the land and threatens to shoot them if they come back. And then later, he makes Jack Sparrow go and get the chalice. And then, like, he doesn't do anything. He doesn't do anything except walk around and tell other people what to do. But it's not as cool as when Davy Jones did it. I'm going to be honest. Maybe my bar was set so high with him. Blackbeard looks cool, has a cool sword. I like his big, huge sword. You know, he does fight at the end. So, you know, I guess some credit for that. But to me, he mostly through the movie does nothing. I gave him a 2. I didn't really like him. And I remember when I saw this movie, I just thought he was underwhelming even then. Hey,
I was stunned. Cool. I was stunned because I gave him a 1. Yeah,
you were stunned with my one extra point. Can't believe you was.
I like Ian McShane. You know, he was in John Wick and whatever, and I love him in Deadwood. I think he's a great character there. The only problem is that his character did not feel like he belonged in this world of Pirates of the Caribbean. I don't know if it was just me, but I don't know. I just felt like he was underutilized in this film. And you're right. I think for Blackbeard, he is more of a menacing on the seas than going on a venture for the Holy Grail, which to me, it didn't work. I didn't like the character for that purpose. So I was just like, yeah, he is not good. And even when he's talking to these other characters, he didn't feel diabolical. Like he was just felt like a normal pirate with all these cool powers. Now, I like his powers. I'm not going to lie. His powers it's better than what Davy Jones had. But Davy Jones had the Kraken. So like he had the advantage of that. Now, I did like his boat. His boat was pretty cool. But
Davy
Jones
the
had
boat was cool with the
cannon.
Shoot out the fire.
I thought that was really cool. But I think Davy Jones had the better cannons. He had the 3 cannon shots. And I think, again, when it comes to Pirates of the Caribbean, I think the villains have way cool boats and special abilities on these boats. Like Blackbeard could control ropes and all this stuff. And you're right. They really didn't know what to do much with him at all.
Not at all.
So, and I didn't like his personality. I think I would have given him more of a rougher, ongoing. Because you're right. When they introduced him, I was like, oh man, this dude is screwed. And he dropped him. I was like, that's it? Like, I don't know. I just felt like it was just kind of weak and kind of whack. I thought it would have been.
He wasn't as intimidating as he should have been.
Because when Davy Jones walked into that boat, when you heard the boom from his little stick hitting the floor, oh, you knew. And I think it all comes down to score. The score was not good for him when he came out. Like, Davy Jones had an awesome theme score when he came out, But anyway, I mean, that's another topic for another day. But I gave him a 1. I wasn't too thrilled with him. I thought he looked cool, but not a good character. No. All right, action scenes.
So this was controversial for me because I wrestled with my score here. Ultimately, and I'll explain myself, of course, I gave it a 3. Here's the thing. This movie actually has way more action than the last movie. Than World's End or whatever. Like there's action scenes right at the beginning. I enjoyed the chase scene in London, with Jack Sparrow when they're chasing him. He's like riding the horses. That was pretty well done. I like that. Then there's like the ship, the fight on the ship where before Blackbeard comes out, you guys, your sword fighting and stuff. And there's chases and sword fights, and there is a good amount of action. My issue is that Rob Marshall shoots this action for the most part in the most boring, whatever is like the most basic way to shoot that, he shoots it like that because he's not an action director. And he's not a director who's like Gore Verbinski, for example. I wouldn't call him an action director, but he has a vision, like a film vision, right? And he knows how to set up scenes and set up sequences and really make them look amazing. We talked about the first movie. That had some super creative, inventive, cool action. This had exactly the most basic stuff. Like that chase scene is fun, but what about it is like, it's nothing crazy. He rides on horses, he escapes, he jumps on a thing. Yeah, it's cool. There's some stunt work in there and stuff. But like, I thought the sword fight was pretty good where he's fighting himself and it was actually Penelope Cruz. But was it like any significantly better than when he fights Will Turner in the first movie? No, it was kind of the same. It felt the same. Dark room, fighting around, climbing on things. You know what I mean? So there was just a lack of creativity in my mind. So I gave it a 3 though, because there is a good amount. And it doesn't, it's one of those things of like, it's not bad, but it's not exceptional. So I fell right in the middle with a 3.
I wrestled with this also because I really did not know what we were getting ourselves into in this movie. Like I knew with the other ones, like we knew the action that was coming with Davy Jones. Like we knew all that. This one I really did not know. Were we going to have big battles on the ocean? No, we did not have big battles at the ocean, especially with that cool boat that shoots fire. How the hell you were not going to have boat fights with a fire-breathing boat?
Missed opportunity.
Mad missed opportunity. And I was like, that sucks. No cannons getting shot. I was like, that sucks. Again, I totally agree with you. This is like the most 101 basic pirate shooting action movie there is. But I wasn't too thrilled. I'm oh man, Big Papa Al was not into this one, baby. I give it a 2.
With you.
The action is a 2.
I see it.
The Jack Sparrow versus himself, I thought it was cool. But the problem with that scene, you could tell it was her, but when the cameras widened out, you could tell it was a dude fighting Johnny Depp. Yeah. And I didn't like that because I was like, that now this just like I just hated that. I was just like, that sucks.
As soon as they zoom in, she shrinks. She's like 2 inches shorter.
Yeah, exactly. And then it was too dark.
Yeah, it was
when they were fighting. And I was like, wait a minute. I was like, this is not cool. I didn't like it much. I did not like, and I don't know if you agree with me. Again, the coincidence. He's sitting down in front of the king, and now he's starting to look, how am I going to get out of here? He threw a Cinnabon into the ceiling. And I was just like, really? Like, now you're going to do this, like Detective Clouseau type comedy now
on the floor.
Yeah, and then he's setting up the chair. And I was just like, I didn't like that. I thought it was a cool sequence, but to me, it would have been funnier if it was just total him luck doing all this stuff. Because that's what the first 3 was. It was total luck. It's not like he planned it. Now he's planning all the cool stuff that he used to do.
Yeah.
I didn't like it. So anyway, I give it 2. I wasn't too thrilled. So
ain't gonna argue with you, brother. Ain't gonna argue.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Storyline.
This I gave a 2. The only reason I didn't give it a 1 is because for the most part, with the exception of one thing I'm gonna get into, like the story flows okay. It's just that it's super basic. Like I understand that in the other movies we had some issues with the runtimes. Like it was way too long, but it was way too long. But it had an epic feel. This did not. This felt like super regular. Okay, Captain Jack randomly showed. Like again, they don't really give you enough clues of what happened in between. But you got Barbossa, just happens to be here, and I hate the way he looks in this movie too, Barbossa. He looks mad weird. I don't know what the makeup, why they decided, but I hated looking at him. He gets a ship because he lost the pearl again, which that was annoying. I hate that. Why does every movie start off with the Black Pearl is lost or stolen or taken or sunken or just every time? So of course, there's that. That was annoying. And then other than that, you literally just have multiple groups of ships going for the Fountain of Youth. Like, that's pretty much, like, that's the whole plot. You have a little bit with Jack Sparrow and Penelope Cruz's character. Like, they have some history, which was, by the way, never brought up in any of the other Pirates movies. He never talked about this lady. He never said, I had this love or someone that I had feelings for before. Nothing. You never heard of her. And then all of a sudden, she's the one that got away. I really liked her. I'm like, okay, it would have been cool if in one of those movies he said a line like that. And then they introduced her in this movie. And you'd be like, oh, that was the girl he was talking about. You know what I mean? It's a good callback, but no, there was none of that. Anyway, the main thing I hate about this storyline, and the reason it's down to a 2, the freaking mermaid and church guy thing is one of the most useless, like literally, if you cut that out, this movie is the exact same movie. It's the exact same. They have to extract a tear. And you're telling me that the writers thought, okay, we got to get a tear out of this mermaid. We're going to write like 15 minutes worth of storyline for this guy and her that's like a weird human mermaid love story for it to end with her just pulling him under the water and swimming away. That's how it ends. They swim away. Who knows what happened? Did he become a merman? Did she eat him? I don't know.
A merman.
Yeah, is he a merman or did she eat him? I think she took him and they ate him, honestly. I don't know. Because they're all evil except this one. He showed kindness to her, so she's not going to eat him. Give me a break. That other thing is they set up the mermaids. Like, they literally set them up like villains. Like, these guys are on the boat. They're super hot. They want to sing to you and eat you. And then I'm supposed to feel sympathy because Blackbeard was mean to this one and he put her in a box. Well, she did. They freaking sunk the boat and ate everybody. I don't feel bad. So I hate the mermaid stuff. I forgot about that. And when I was watching, I was like, good God, I don't want to see this guy anymore. He's useless. I don't care about the mermaids. Other than that, it was just whatever. I gave it a 2.
Lord.
Just tell us about it.
I gave it a 1. That's my main gripe is the mermaid. I hated the freaking mermaid.
Yeah.
They were hot mermaids, but it didn't like that. And that's the thing. It was like, what was the purpose of having mermaids? Right? Like, you literally think about it. Like, if we're going on an adventure and you're going to tell me we need mermaids along the way, and then you got Blackbeard that can control a ship he did use his fire breathing boat to push him more to shore so they could net them and all that BS. But again, it's so useless, those scenes. Like, you're right, it didn't progress the story at all. It was just a nonsense of, let's have naked women, because they were naked. It's not like they were were literally naked. So they were naked mermaids, but just useless mermaids. They didn't do nothing at all. And I didn't care for her, to be really honest with you. Like,
she barely talks. Why am I supposed to care for her? What am I supposed to care about?
Yeah, I didn't care for that as much. But anyway, like, in terms of Penelope Cruz's character, another useless character. Like, I didn't like her at all. She was like, great actress. I thought she was beautiful.
Yeah.
Wasted. I thought that was
She was annoying. Like, this guy is like her dad, but I never had a dad, so I'm going to force him to be my dad by getting him the chalice and getting him all these years and blah, blah. He clearly doesn't want her. And she's still, even at the end, He drinks the cup knowing that she was going to die, and she still gets mad at Jack Sparrow about it. I'm like, give me a break. You got to be kidding me. What is this lady?
Yeah.
I'm glad he left her ass on the island to sit there and think about it because she was annoying. I agree.
Yeah, she was annoying. I didn't like Blackbeard. Gibbs, I like Gibbs. I always like Gibbs and Jack's like relationship.
Yeah.
You see, like that to me is the fun part of Pirates of the Caribbean. When he was like, Gibbs, did you get what we wanted? And he was like, yes. And then he goes, they got the pearl in the thing. He goes, how do we get it out? And I always thought it was funny with the monkey. He goes, oh,
on the little monkey.
yeah. Like I thought that was fun, and then he stole whatever there in the back. So I thought that was pretty cool. Other than that, around it and the outside, it's just another
fluff. This movie's fluff. Yeah, bro. It's totally fluff.
Yeah, it's not fluffy, and I don't like fluff and nothing but other.
Yeah,
nothing but
he turned into Jack Sparrow.
Yeah, very nothing but other. Yeah. So I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. I think it's good, and that's why I gave it 1. It didn't engage me. It didn't make me want to go, oh, I want another one. It made me go, when are we up to seeing another franchise? I was already like checking out.
This always happens with anything more than 4. You get to 1 where you're like, I don't want to watch any more of these. I think I'm done with this
because the storylines don't make sense anymore.
I agree with you. This had nothing to do with the last movies, and it has nothing to do with the next one, really. Yeah. Barbossa was horrible, and they turned a cool character into horrible. Jack was not utilized. Penelope Cruz was annoying. Blackbeard wasn't that cool. The church guy was useless. It's not good.
And they killed the other guy from part 1, the Englishman. Remember the one that was always with the captain? He goes, oh, does he always plan this? Remember? And they look at him.
Yeah.
They killed him. He was like, this is the property of the British, and the Spaniard shot him. And I was like, what a useless character.
That was the other thing. What were the Spaniards? They're the very beginning of the movie, and you think they're going to be set up to be another like villain, and all they do is get there, try to blow it up, and they all die. Like, what the heck was this useless too?
God is only here to give you life. Men destroy. And I was like, this movie's destroyed. Yeah, I didn't like it. A 1. All right, overall.
Yeah, I did give it a 2 overall, but I see why I didn't ever watch this again. You know what I mean? Like there's when we do these podcasts and there's certain movies that I'll be like, I haven't seen this since the theater. 9 times out of 10, there's a good reason I didn't watch it again. You know what I mean? And yeah, I have it because same thing. Like I had 1, 2, 3, and 5. What am I gonna not have 4? But I don't want it anymore. I'm probably gonna get rid of it because I'm never gonna watch this again. If I really had to, there's always Disney Plus. This movie's 30 minutes shorter than the last one, but it feels the same length. Like it drags. Like at one point I looked at the clock. I'm like, okay, this is what are we at? And there was still like 45 minutes left. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is once they get to the jungle and he has to go get the chalices and it's just so boring. They have a little I hate the little voodoo doll thing. I thought that was very stupid. There's some okay ideas like the zombie crew. That was kind of cool. Like the zombified crew. That was cool. That was fine. But like I missed the crew from the Pearl. Give me Gibbs. Give me the guy with one eye.
Oh,
give me the other ugly guy.
Those guys, yeah.
Give me the monkey. Give me the little bald guy. Like I'd rather
aren't they in the jar?
Yeah, but I'm saying they're not in this movie. They're we got all these other new guys that I don't. There's too many new characters and none of them are that interesting. Like let's be real. Blackbeard's not interesting. Penelope Cruz's character's not interesting. This other crew is not interesting. Church guy's not interesting. Mermaids are not interesting. So I did give it a 2 because, like I said, there's a fair amount of action and, Jack Sparrow's in it, but I didn't really like it.
Yeah, overall, I agree with you. I gave it a 2. It's decent film. But, I mean, I'm going to be really honest with you. If they would have came out with, like, a steel book or whatever, I think I'm 1, 2, 3. I think those will be the ones I buy. And the crazy thing is, like, let's say it came into Davy Jones's chest.
Yeah.
The Dead Man chest. I will get it solely for that. Right. Other than that, I don't need 4 right now. It's not as a good movie. I agree. The score sucks. I'm going to say it right now. The score sucks. It's bland. It is another dry chicken of a music score. I don't like it. So it's a 2. All right, total points.
Total points for me is a 12 out of a 25. This is the lowest one. I agree with the critics and the audience on this one. It's down for me. This is crazy. That's why I said after I was done watching it and I found out it made $1 billion, I'm like, how? Who went to see this multiple times? Because that's usually when you make that much money, people are seeing it more than once. Who the heck wanted to go watch this again? I have no idea. Although I do have one friend, she likes this movie, so I guess there is fans out there. To me, although I didn't love At World's End, compared to this, I'd rather sit through the 3 hours of that again than watch this again, to be honest. So I'm okay with them not having certain characters, but then when the new ones they introduce are not as cool, I'd rather Elizabeth Swann and Will Turner than these people, honestly. So it's a 12 for me.
Yeah, I gave it a 9.
Oof.
I was not digging this movie at all.
Not a good time for you.
Yeah, it was not. It was just a lackluster pirate adventure. So, yeah, I wasn't into it. All right, Nate, what is coming up next on the podcast?
Okay, next week, or next episode, I should say, we got continuing on with our comic books with no sequels month, and we're going to be doing The Losers. It's a DC property, DC and Vertigo, I think was the comic line. Yep. Yeah, so we're going to be doing that. And then it's your lucky day because next week we wrap up the Pirates movie. We got one left, Dead Men Tell No Tales. From what I remember, I like this movie. So I haven't seen it since the theater, but this came out in like 2017. So it wasn't that long ago. So we'll be doing that movie. Let's see if it holds up or if I feel like this movie and I'm like, nope, it still sucks. Those are our next 2 episodes.
Yeah, and it's crazy because it's 6 years apart from this one to the next one.
Which is weird.
Nuts.
It made $1 billion and it took 6 years to make another one. Weird.
Yeah, it's mad weird. I don't get why, but anyway, with that said, you guys want to follow us in our social media accounts, please follow Nate over on Instagram at Netflix Reviews. Check out the podcast with him and his friends called Netflix Movie Reviews. Anything Action Movie Guys, head over to Instagram at Action Movie Guys Podcast or head over to our official website at www.geeksandflix.com. Other than that, I'm your host, Alex Figueroa, and my co-host is
Nate from Netflix Reviews.
Be awesome to each other and geek out.